there everybody, it is a nice Tuesday afternoon today, and yeah, we've got another kit on the table, and here it is. This is a Citroen Fourgon HY from Hella, made in France, as you can see there, or maybe not, let's make an adjustment there. Citroen Fourgon van thing from Hella. This is in 1/24 scale, and it says here 138 pieces. The model is 177 millimeters long by 83 millimeters wide. Doesn't say how tall, but there you go. 2 in 1. So apparently you can make a 1957 or a 1964 version. At least that's what I take that to mean. Hella France. Yeah, a little kit from, where did I get this from now? Let me see. I bought this from 2K Technologies Limited over there in Halifax, so not too far away from me, though it did take longer to get here than I would expect. But that's not their fault, that's the delivery. Anyway, never mind. Cost me $29.99 post free, just £30. So yeah, corrugated side plastic model kit. Probably wondering why I got this. Well, I have plans for this one. There's a pub in town that have one of these standing outside of it with signs on it and so on. I think they use it as a food van during the evenings when the beer garden is open or something like that. I think that's what it's used for. I've never actually seen it used, but it's standing there and it looks like that's what it's there for, so why not? So this will be like the first or second time I've tried to build a kit based on a vehicle I actually know or I'm actually aware of. Anyway, let's take a little tour around the box. On the front there, you can see the, let's take this plastic off and make it a bit easier to see what's going on. First time opening it, was a bit squashed when it arrived there. So, being yellow, is it visible? Is it visible to you? The green screen may have something to say about that, but hopefully not. A bit better, but anyway. So the front of the box, you've got a painting of the Citroen Fourgon van, or letter 15, I guess that's the name. On this side, you have falling off a box. On this side, you have some words in 6 languages. English there, intended for collectors aged 14 or over. I am one of those. Lots of other stuff: French, Italian, English, Netherlands, Dutch, Deutsch, German, and Espanol, Spanish too. On this side, what does it say? So basically, same information on the front of the box. On the other side, again, same information, only in a vertical orientation. And at the top, it's a bit like Airfix boxes. So at the top, you have dimensions of the model kit and some extra features there. A few little things to say about the vehicle itself. Features: year of construction, 57 or 64 buildable. Engine replica, you've got an engine in there, I see. Doors, flaps can be displayed open and closed, and stuff. So it's characteristics of the kit itself, not the vehicle. Anyway, that's the outside, that's the box. And how to open it. So fabric on front. Oh, forgot the back. The back of the box gives you a little information about the vehicle, information about the original. Information sur l'original. Informationen zum original. French, English, and German. That's all you need to know from me. I apologize for the attempt at an accent there. Anyway, down here you got the colours recommended for this kit. You got Hella, Humber, and Revel colours, quite a few of them. Water slide decals, which is very few of them. All number plates, it would be. Number plates, a dashboard, and that's about it. Down here, it says you can download the instruction manual if you want to, so you can use your tablet or computer monitor as the instruction booklet. Never tried that yet, but maybe. Anyway, let's get into this box. Cutting tools. I have a blade today. The seal is now broken. The seal being a made in France seal. So they're quite proud of that. If Holly Airfix was displeased about making actually I think they are, so about making stuff in Britain. So they did with that big Spitfire, I believe. Yeah, very proud of that. And then they went back to India for the other kits. So anyway, this is, it's got more sealing as well. I can't. More tape on the side here. Just a moment, please. I forgot one thing. The shrek test. So there is some room inside there, but not that much. And then we'll see just how full it is. So I like the way the box opens. Big flap opens up like that. And inside here we have paperwork on the top and screws below. Rubber tires, vinyl wheels, tires. Yeah, so there we go. Let's do what I usually do anyway, and have a look at the information. So let's do what I usually do and take a look at the instruction manual first. This is kit number 80768. For those of you who want to go on there and purchase this kit. And if you do go and buy it because of this video, thank you very much. Let me know that you did so. Tell Heller or the people you bought it from where you got the information from. Anyway, 1/24 scale Citroen Fourgon type H. So over the page we have a tiny decal sheet here. I shall get a bit of tape over this. Just a moment, please. Line it up straight. There you go. Dandry. Put you there for the time being. So first page we have. So page 2. So the cover is page 1. Page 2 tells us information about the vehicle. So in English it says French for your francophone speakers. This is a motor truck for loading goods 1200 kilograms in a volume of 7.3 cubic meters. It was designed by Pierre Franchisset, to whom it is named. Is it? It's a Fourgon. Anyway, to whom it is named. The H for it is the 8th such project developed by Citroen. The H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. What? Its design is basic and it takes many other vehicles. Yeah, right, so read the rest of it there if you would like to. Basically, it looks like it's just taking the translation from French into English. You'd have thought they could have had an English speaker to do it. Anyway, we've had that before with others. Yeah, I can understand the Chinese and Japanese having difficulty with translating from Chinese to English, because these are quite very difficult. These are very different languages. French to English, though, a lot of French people speak English very well, better than you or I. Well, in some cases, but I know this because I've met French people, and they speak English very well, better than I speak French. So that's page 2. You got it again in German and Spanish. So building begins on page 3, starting with, so you got a choice to build A version or the B version. So the A version is the 1964 version and the B version is your the 1957 build. So bearing this in mind, I may need to nip around to the pub and see which model they have there. Chances are I can't see any visual differences on the images I have here of this of the drawing. It looks identical to me on both sides. So let me see if I can see a difference. The repeater, the indicator light is different shape. So it's a round on the 57 version and it's a little triangle on the 64 model. If you can see any of the differences that I can't see, pipe up, tell us below. Points for the most creative answer. Anyway, so then where do we start? So building starts with the what looks like the front axle. No. Anyway, some part of chassis build, probably a front axle or the engine mount, I'm guessing. So it starts with sections 1 to 6 on page 3. Appear to be that. At the bottom here, you start assembling the engine. And let's go to the page. Section 7 to 11. Again, it's all engine build. So fairly nicely detailed engine here. May have to do some research to see what the engine actually looks like with the extra pipe work. Assuming I want to do all that stuff, you know. It's the kind of thing that in the idea of detailing up an engine or parts of a kit of a model like this, it's always a nice idea, but when it comes down to doing it, it's actually quite tricky, and I don't quite have the dedication needed to do this kind of thing. I mean, if you look at A4 Garage, for example, maybe I should start practicing to be as good as him, because he's magnificent. Anyway, you're putting together the engine all together all the way down to section 11. And then in section 12, page 5, sections 12 to 14, you put in the engine onto the engine mount, onto the front axle, etc. And that's what that is. So page 6 and 7. So page 6, you start building parts of the vehicle, the chassis, or more parts of the vehicle, I should say. Looks like you've got the front floor and some bits going into the front cabin and so on. So basically building up the walls and shaft and so on. 22 to 27, basically building the whole bodywork. I like how they got the instructions are nice and very clear. There's very few things to do in each section. So it just makes it easy to concentrate on the bit that you're supposed to be working on, which is, I think, a good idea. You do have a few little things to keep in mind. You've got some, here it says, paint the interior consistent with the chosen final decoration. So, bit of advice here to paint the insides before you finish assembling the insides. Which is a good idea, because otherwise, when it's all sealed up, you won't be able to get inside there. Page 28, sorry, page 8. Page 9. So page 8, you've built most of the basic chassis, and now you're putting the engine onto it. The whole engine front axle system. So it looks like it's a front wheel drive vehicle, which I just noticed now. I should have noticed before when assembling the engine, the front wheels coming out of it, and there's no transmission to the rear. As you can see, you've got the rear axle there, which you put in during section. Well, you didn't put it in at all, because I think it's inbuilt, or is it? No. So it's just built into the, yeah, it's built into part A2. Is it part A2? Yep. So as you can see, the rear axle is already part of the main chassis bits. So basically you put a couple of more bits onto the engine and then drop it into the engine bay. Lots of things to connect together. All these little arrows going along to going to certain holes over there, which is yeah. I understand what they're doing, but I think they should have had a slightly different picture showing it a close-up picture showing exactly how it fits in there. But anyway, it looks like you put it in and then you're putting more bits onto the engine, which surely you put these on before you put it. Anyway, page 9, you've got section 32 to 35. So 32, you're completing the engine mounted assembly and all the little bits and stuff that fits onto the engine, pipes, hoses, etc. Section 33, you start working on the interior of the vehicle, which is the front seats, or the only seats in fact. Assemble seats, put them in the cab. Page 10 takes us to sections 36 to 41 inclusive. We start putting in all the controls, or driver controls and other bits and pieces, front panel and so on, and then start assembling the bodywork in section 41. Page 11 takes us to more bodywork, so mostly the front pieces and so on, the cab itself. Page 12, you're completing the cab. It looks like you now I see here how you're putting in the steering column, and looking at that, got all these bits. Surely it would have been easier to drop the column in at this stage, before you put this front piece on, because it looks like you've got to put it in, fit it underneath there, which and I guess I think it'd be a good idea to before you glue the front panel on, front of the vehicle, take the steering column, and no mention of assembling steering column, or there is. So you assemble the steering column in section 37, then you put it in section 44. So I think, just from looking at this, it may be a good idea to test fit the steering column before you glue that part in, and just see how they fit together, because then it may be easy to put it in like this, or it may be easy to put that in first, steering column in first, glue it into the bottom there, and then put this on there on top, because it looks like it just fits onto the front if this part is correct, which I'm sure it is. Anyway, so section 45 to 48 inclusive are all about installing the rest of the bodywork, the roof and the side doors and so on. You've got the bumpers. So it looks like you've got two different bumpers for the 57 and 64 model over there. Again, to me, they look identical in the drawings there. So I guess we'll take a look at the parts to see if there is any actual difference between these two things. Doors, door furniture. Then down here, the bottom, 49, assembling the wheels and the brakes and so on. So wheels onto the tires. Not sure I understand this. I assume these are paint guides. Let's go back to the paint guides and paint colors and see. Yeah, so this is paint colors, and then these are the part numbers. So part numbers are basically, I should have mentioned this earlier, part numbers are in the black squares with the white wording. And then in section 50, you start assembling the headlights. Back over to page 14, basically assembling the back of the vehicle, putting the doors in. So it looks like you've got a choice of assembling it open or closed. The one I'm building is going to be closed because I've never seen that vehicle over there open. And then you go around to putting more furniture on the front of the vehicle here on page 15, sections 53 and 54. So windscreen wipers, some other little bits and pieces onto there, little grills and stuff, lights. And then in 54, you put the wheels on. Well, you don't just put the wheels on, but you put the wheels on and some suspension bits here at the back. So at the front, wheels just go straight on. At the back, suspension bits as well as the wheels. Turning over to page 16, again, close-up of the wheels. So I guess this is the other side. Then you got the choice here of having something open. Or do you? Just like some sort of cover for the wheel. All right, I understand now. This is a spare wheel inside there. Let me go back to the previous page. I'm clearly skimming these things. I'm not looking at them as carefully as I should. No mention of that there. So it shows you there, it's an empty space, which is where the spare wheel goes. There's no mention of what it is. Yeah, keep going back and forth here. And then a few pages later, you've got a crossover section there and the cover for it. So it looks like you can put it in either open or closed, I guess. And then last but not least, section 55 at the bottom of the page at the bottom of page 16, you put the headlights on and you're done. Or there's like another doors open as well. So now I'm going to have to take some more pictures of this vehicle because there is no front seats, there's no front parts, there's no front cabin of the vehicle I'm looking at. There's some boxes there, so it looks like some sort of chimney thing. So it looks like I'll have to fabricate some special pieces to fit into there. But anyway, put the headlights on. The vehicle does have headlights in there. And then you get to page 17, and here we have the sprue map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues. It shows us here. Are there any of these clear parts? I'm guessing these are clear parts. I know the final picture of the cover art. Page 17, page 18 and 19 shows you the painting decor. I see the difference here, right? So windscreens. So the 1957 model has a double windscreen. The 64 model has a single windscreen. So that's one difference. And the repeaters are slightly differently arranged. Everything else appears to be virtually identical. So windscreen's different. So and I think the one up there is a 57 model. I'll have to double check, but I believe it is. And on the back here, some Hella contact information. There you go. 3W Hella France. So there you go. So if you should take a better look at what Hella have to say about this kit, take a look at their website. From what I see over here, you can download the instruction manual, or on the back of the box rather. You can download the instruction manual and use that instead if you prefer using your computer monitor or tablet. Anyway, let's take a look at what's in the box. Got a tiny decal sheet here, which is just a control panel for the which is the dashboard for the vehicle. All these number 10s, I don't know what they are because I didn't notice that in the instructions. And then you got license plates. That looks some plastic. So first off the top, the rather large sprue. So as you can see, this is mainly bodywork, so roof, side panels, and so on. This is, has it got a sprue number? Sprue number D, a sprue letter D. The fourth sprue, something just fell off the seat. Sprue letter D, or the fourth sprue, because D is the fourth letter of the alphabet. So I'm guessing this is a fairly modern kit because the plastic mouldings look very clean and tidy. I'm not sure how old this is. We'll find out at the end there. But all the mouldings look beautiful actually, very nicely made. So fairly soft-ish plastic. This panel here looks slightly warped to me. As you can see there. So unexpected. Yeah, it is totally warped if you look at that. You get it there. So so one possible point of failure, well, not failure, but difficulty. So on this other side here, you got lots of tiny little pieces, mostly well, I don't know what they are really, but you can see them there. Bits that fit in the engine, or mostly door furniture and stuff like that. That's something from the looks like a gear stick, but could be something different. So this one looks like maybe slightly bent or whatever. Anyway, so I think it's mainly to do with the way these things were packaged, because as you can see, these aren't in plastic. Well, these aren't packaged in plastic, they're in the box there. So rattling around together, when you've got very delicate pieces like this, maybe a good idea to keep them wrapped up safely. So aside from that, it looks pretty good. All the big pieces look very good anyway. Yeah, so that is sprue D. Next up, we have a sprue, and this is well, I've got another sprue. This is sprue C. As you can see at the top there, this was once connected to the other sprue that we'll come across soon. Anyway, I just noticed something on the other pile of sprues that looks a bit odd, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Sprue D is again more body parts, some internal pieces, headlights here, some little handle grab handles and stuff like that. The front of the vehicle. Would have been nice if these had, well, they've got very nice detail already. It would be nice if they were metal mesh, but we can cope with that. So internal pieces there. The bodywork on the side looks very nice. Steering wheel there, got a tiny bit of flash on the ring there. Got a tiny bit of flash on the wing there, but apart from that, everything else looks very good. On the reverse side, so you got the body panels which are double-sided, and they do look very good. There's no push pin marks on any of the visible parts, which is the right way to do it in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, I do like the front grille there. Looks like you got two different versions. Got that one with the chevrons on top, and this one with the chevrons as part of the grille. So and there we go. So that is sprue C. Get all in there. Next up, just straight off the top, is this one, which is why I saw this piece here and thought, what's going on? So it looks like it comes from the sprue that's to come, so I'll put it back over there. So this is sprue A, which has the main floor of the vehicle, the chassis part, as I like to call it. Well, this will be the chassis, and this goes into there. So what do we have here? Some engine pieces, which look wee and tiny and very nicely molded. Some transmission pieces there. The old chassis itself, front axles, steering column, I believe. This is a pipe, I guess, probably an exhaust pipe. Very few a few pieces on here. Everything looks clean and tidy. Nothing to get terribly excited about, unless you like very nicely detailed parts, and something to get excited about, I guess. Yeah. So again, no real issues here. Everything looks very nicely and well molded. As I mentioned earlier, the double-sided parts don't have any visible push marks, so because all the push pins are on either the blind side as on this bit, or the insides of pieces that won't be visible. Anyway, so there you go. This is sprue A. A bit tilty. Next up sprue is this one here with the missing part. So this part is effectively broken off, but I believe it fits on here. So this is, I like to put it the right way around. This is sprue B. Sprue B, which was attached, sprue B, which was attached directly to sprue A. So I've got 5 wheel hubs there, 4 pieces, which I guess are part of the wheel, such as the, I'm guessing that these are the drum brakes, which would fit on the back of the wheels there. Some more engine pieces here and here, front axle parts, engine, and so on. Again, it all looks very nicely made. You do have a couple of push pin marks on this piece, which is slightly bent. So you've got the push pin marks on the top here. I'm guessing those are going to be covered up. Well, I say the push marks, but probably not, because you've got the push pin marks on the back there. So I suspect that those are mounting points for something else. Maybe the front axle there. Don't know. Again, it's one of those things that you're going to have to see when the vehicle is, well, during the building process of the vehicle. Slightly more close up. The engine does look very nice to me. Got the radiator there, or one piece. So these mounting points, or what you call them, cradle pieces for the engine and so on. Front axle, tiny engine piece there, and more engine piece there. So this piece is broken. There's something that won't be an issue, I'm sure, but because the engine won't be visible when I finish building it, it's going to be closed up, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. But something hella, I think, need to take a look at in the way they mold this piece, or put it in the box, because I believe that's one reason why it's broken. Anywho, I only got this piece here, which was fallen off. But there we have it. This is sprue A. And one more sprue, a sprue in a plastic bag. So this, as you can see, is all the clear parts. Where's a cutting thing, cutting tools? So I'm going to have to use a knife. Just a moment, please. I don't want to cut my card, so I'll do it off on the edge here. So this is sprue, let me find it first, sprue E. So basically it's orientated like in the vertical setting, but I'll put it this way because I prefer it that way. So for reasons best known to themselves, they've made the other body panels in clear parts. This is a fairly good idea actually, because it means that you got windows in these, and that means that you don't have to worry about putting in a piece of glass into a piece of window. You just mask off the parts, excuse me, just mask off the parts that you want to stay clear, such as the windscreens here, or the windows to the doors, and these other windows in the other panels, or even, well, I don't know why this piece is clear. Maybe it just felt like somewhere a sprue to put them on. The headlight lenses look very lensy. Is that a word? Very lens-like. And then you got all these little tiny little lenses for the rest of the lighting pieces, and so on. But yeah, so these pieces do look very clean and crisp and clear. Virtually, there's almost, actually I got to say, there is no flash on this sprue whatsoever. Most of the sprues have been totally flash free so far. There's a bit of flash, as I mentioned, on the steering wheel, but everything else, I didn't notice if there was any, and there isn't any on this whatsoever. But then clear plastic, clear polystyrene is generally harder harder and crisper and more brittle than the coloured polystyrene, and so I shouldn't be too surprised that these bits are very clean and sharp. Anyway, that is the clear parts, or sprue E. And last but not least, we have some rubber wheels. Got them right around. So this is basically sprue F, which is your rubber tires. Now they're rubbery enough. Despite having looked at least one or two sets of tires made like this is I've never actually built with them. So, because all the tires I've had before have been like tires on their own, without any of the extra bits in the middle. So I think I may have to use a knife to cut these out, I guess. Let's see what cutting these out would be like. Fairly straightforward. Anyway, just curiosity on my part. So these are the wheels, vinyl, rubber. How they smell like. Very faint odor of rubber there. Nothing too unpleasant. And interestingly enough, they all have numbers on them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, while they all look identical to me, I'm sure there's a reason why they've all got different numbers on them. But I guess it's just to make sure that you got 5 in there, not just, yeah. Anyway, so those are the rubber tires, or sprue F. So that is what's in the box of the Citroen Fourgon. Foregone conclusion. Anyway, terrible drugs. Anyway, so that is it there. So as you can see, they got this. You have the single windscreen on this one. So I suspect the one I'll be building has the double windscreen, 2-panel windscreen. So anyway, let's take a look at what ScaleMates had to say about this kit. Hello, Citroen Fourgon 124 scale, model number 80768, box art designed by Vincenzo Auletta. Product timeline, new tool 2015. So this is a 11, excuse me, so this is an 11-year-old kit, and then you had a model set in later that year, 2020, a new box, which I believe is what I have here. Model set in later that year. 21 new decals, all the way down to a new box in there and a new model set in 24. So what's the model set? Oh, you got a trailer, and it includes paint and glue. So let's go back to mine. Now, full history, what does it show? So Fourgon. So 2015 it was a new kit, and then that's about it. Another manufacturer, Ebro, made one as well. So is it a straight copy of the Heller? Let's have a look. It is, well, the sprues are totally different. So yeah, as you can see, clear parts there on the windows. So Ebro, is Ebro Japanese? Because all the writing on this is Japanese, so go back to our kit. So yeah, 2015 new tool. The version I have is the 2020 Citroen Fourgon. So it looks like got related products. Got what is this? Other manufacturers and so on. Motor bits. Is this what does it say? Motor bits. So decals. So it looks like you can buy a whole decal sets for this vehicle and so on. There's an unboxing video here and so on. So there you go. Galleries, a couple of vehicles here, which mine isn't going to be that heavily not going to be that heavily weathered and rusted, but because I'm not going to have any internal. So anyway, so that's Fourgon's Losser. Okay, let's go take a look at the website to see what that's all about. Anywho, that is the Citroen Fourgon HY. So there you go. This looks like it's going to be quite a fairly straightforward, simple build, which for my needs is going to be a good thing. Not that I don't like complicated builds, you know. A nice challenging build is quite fun actually. But this is, I don't actually drink at the pub. There is a pub down the road which has, as I mentioned at the beginning, has one of these behind it. I'm going to try to finish mine to look like the one over there. I'm going to need a couple of other bits, like there's wheel clamps on it. And the tires are flat, so I'm going to have to figure out how to make flat tires out of those rubber things. Unless somebody makes ready-built resin flat tires specifically for this vehicle, which is I suspect unlikely, but you never know. Going to need a couple of other things. I need to put in there some box-like structures, and there's a little tap sticking out the back of the vehicle, and I think there's a chimney coming out the top as well. So lots of little things. Also print out some decals to fit the other side of it on this area there, which tells you the name of the pub and so on. I'll leave that all as a surprise for when I actually finish it. I'm not planning on making a build video of this, but you know, if it's something that you'd like to see, so when I get around to building it, I probably will have a go at that. But, yeah. Anyway, have you built this kit? Is the kit that's in your stash maybe? Yeah, basic things like that. Yeah, so anyway, if you built this kit, let me know what you thought of it, and thank you very much for watching. If you watched this far, then I'm sure you won't mind giving me a thumbs up. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Happy modeling everybody, and take care everybody. Got that in the wrong order, yeah. So take care everybody, and happy modeling. Alright, so all back in the box, no reboxing montage or anything silly like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's your lot. I did mention A4 Garage earlier on, and he's somebody I think you should take a look at if you like building your cars and vehicles, and you want to get some and you want to see what I would suggest is a bit of an expert at making or scratch building extra bits for hyper detailing your model kits. Take a look at what A4 Garage is doing, because he does make some excellent pieces of work. You know, that car door, for example, it doesn't open, so I'm going to cut out the door and then put some hinges on it so I can open and close it just like the real thing. Yeah, he goes to that kind of detail. And he does it beautifully. Anyway, A4 Garage, link below. Go take a look.